Hey everybody, welcome back. This is an off-topic sort of tangent video on gift ideas. I've been told that I'm a great gift giver. I put a lot of thought into things and I tend to do my research. So I'm in the Christmas spirit. You can see my tree, in the holiday spirit for everybody else. And I wanted to share some ideas that may be beneficial to you. I'll start with what I think is the lowest price first, and I'll go to the higher ones. I'm going to do separate videos that will have higher priced things, but for now, these are just really universal. This looks like a set of skis for your decorations, and it is. I'm just kidding. It is a computer stand. I purposely bought this because it was the most portable version, the lightest. It's anodized aluminum. It's not steel like a lot of them, so it dissipates heat really well. And I bought this specifically for my G14 because the way it spans, the max distance here is the exact place where the two fans don't hit. I just found that super unique. So you can lift it to different points here. And if I lift it to, I believe the third point is my go-to, it just clears the two parts that sit inside there. Maybe four is safer, but you get the point. Really nice and sturdy. This thing is going nowhere. I've used it for at least a year now. And it's great because this dissipates the heat heavily when you're gaming. You can buy all those fan units and the induction air, whatever. They really don't do anything. There are the circular ones that are about $80 that have this sort of sealed unit and they're huge blower motors on there. Here's the one I'm referring to. There are only a handful of these that actually do anything. This one does work. It is proven, but it's very loud and it's quite expensive. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. At least the lights are cool. So what you can do is just this sort of passive enhancement. So the G14 is really small. You probably can't tell on camera. It's a 14-inch, but it's really small, probably comparable to other 13-inch laptops. This is a 15.6, which is probably the most common, and this fits on here just fine. Another valid point for this is that this allows the screen to sit higher at a desk. So look at, I'm about elbow's length. I'm a little low in this chair, but here's where the screen sits for me, and I'm looking down. My line of vision's right here in the center. If I put it on here and raise it up, now it's almost even. It's right here, so I don't have to do this. It makes a difference, and you can put this on top of things too, which you can do with a laptop, but it's just nice to have. I did bring my absolute massive monster laptop here to show that it can house this very heavy 17-inch one as well, but this is where I usually lower the grade to something less steep. And it holds it if you're editing, if you're an editor, or if you are doing design programs, architecture, or data stuff that's crunching numbers for 24 hours plus, which I think I've done a lot of it, and you're worried about your computer crashing or rendering and overheating, or you're just worried about the internal components, stressing them. Maybe I'm the only one that does that. Then this is really cool to just leave it on here and feel a little bit better, a little more at peace that you're running it and it's lifted, providing more air and whatnot. And the best part, it folds up into this. I just find that so amazing. The worst part of this, and the only bad part, is it says iVolair. The weird names you find on Amazon, and unfortunately, that's all there is on some of these. You may find a generic one, but to be fair, the name doesn't even show, and it doesn't bother me anymore. I often take the names off of things if I buy something on Amazon and it has a weird name, but some of these don't bother me too bad. And this iVolair brand, I've used it on screen protectors and other things, and it's pretty reputable. So I'm indifferent at this point. One last thing is there is rubber on each of the parts, and it's really nice. It's thick. There's rubber feet, so it doesn't scratch the desk, and there's even rubber in the little part where it sits. So this is just really well made, and it's super affordable. And if you have any PC person in your life, guy or girl, this may be a great little gift or even a stocking stuffer for them. I'd be excited to get this. And if not, you can just put your cat on it and ski or something. So the second item up on the list is this Diamond by LFS, and it is a mini Bluetooth speaker. I realize there are so many Bluetooth speakers. I have been told that I collect way too many Bluetooth speakers. It is a problem. I'm seeking help. So blew me away because the lights inside. I'm a sucker for lights, truly, and it's just so cool. And the sound, on top of that, the sound ended up being quite impressive. It changes colors. There are different modes. It's super light. It's tiny. It's not heavy. And the sound is decent. If you're expecting heavy bass on anything this size, you are in the wrong size margin for speakers. But it's not bad. I'm not an audiophile, but I am sort of picky, and it's really good. The colors and the sort of gem design, it's what got me. I just adore this thing. The best part, okay? The best part, it is able to pair to get true wireless stereo. If you know what this means, it's an awesome feature. If you don't know what this means, oftentimes you can pair these Bluetooth speakers with one another. But when you pair it, it's two mono. If I was recording in stereo, I'd have two microphones, one recording the left, one recording the right. So you can hear them left and right in each ear. That's why, so it's basically different speakers instead of just duplicating the same speaker and hearing the exact same sound on both sides. And that stereo effect you get with them is awesome. The only negative part of this is the flap. This is supposed to be waterproof or water resistant. I would say that this is splash proof. Would I dunk this in anything? Absolutely not. This cover here, this flap, is very difficult to get in. I could have just got a slightly defective one. I think it's just difficult to get in. The port is a Type-C port. It's much easier to get a Type-C cable. You don't have to fidget with flipping it up and down. I love that. A lot of the Bluetooth speakers are still doing micro USB. So that is a great feature. A little string to hang it on, super light. I just really like this thing. This isn't part of my review, but the other speaker that people often go to is the EWA 106. This is very heavy compared to this, very heavy. And it's about the same size, but it's significantly lighter. The reason this one has bass, some bass, is because it actually has the driver right on bottom here, which is really cool. And this does sound really nice for its size, but again, you have to be cautious on what you're expecting on speakers this size. So really the bass on this and that aren't dramatically different, and this has its own uniqueness with the lights, and it sounds really good for what it is. This has a full sound. It gets down there in the lows enough to provide a decent sound. So I'm happy with that. One last thing I'll mention about this little speaker is that the bottom is magnetic. You could put this on your fridge. You could put the other one on your fridge and they could play stereo sound. You could put it on your workbench. That's where I'd put mine. Or you can put it outside on a fire table. I'm just thinking of random things, but it's really cool that that's a magnet. I really like that. Let's check out the third item. I've had these for a long time now, but these are the Razer Anzu glasses. And they are some of my favorite things. The glasses, smart glasses market is expanded now, and there are lots of options. I have a lot of them, and I find a lot of them mediocre, and they're all kind of the same. They sort of melds together. These have stood out because they've just been decent all around for a long time. Plus, for the price, these started, I think, at $150. When I bought these as gifts a couple of years ago, they were $150 each. Now you can find them on sale for $60, oftentimes, sometimes even $40. It depends. What you get in the box, I don't have the box, is the charging cable. You get this nice leather case, or I'll get back to you. I think that may be possibly leather. The cool part is that they come with blue blocking lenses. They also come with shades to turn them into glasses, which the shades would look more like real glasses than these. But at the time when I first got these a long time back, these looked really good for what they were. The arms extend a little bit out, and it depends who you are. Plus there are different sizes and different shapes. I think these are the smalls, but typically I wear larger glasses. They look okay, and you can sort of pinpoint that they're smart glasses, but they're not bad. The blue light filter in here, people think that's a gimmick. It really isn't. When I get headaches from screen time, I put blue light filtering glasses on, as long as they're decent or real, and within 60 seconds, it's toned down or gone. It's pretty amazing. If you take ibuprofen or something, it takes 30, 40, 50 minutes to kick in. That works really well for optical sort of strain. The cable sits in this little space here on top, and then you roll this piece of fabric over it, and the glasses sit in top. They turn on and connect like that. As soon as you open them, they're on. And the sound is quite good. I have the Bose frames, the go-to of the glasses speaker segment, and they're pretty much equivalent. I can't tell the difference. You will not get significant bass out of any of these. I don't care what people tell you. You will not. You get clarity and fullness. I have some that are really cheap and you get almost no fullness. You can tell it's that kind of high-pitched tinny sound. These are quite full. They get loud enough and you can hear audiobooks and you can hear podcasts and everything's crystal clear. I've made phone calls with them. Really clear. It's really nice. It may be Bluetooth 5.0. I'll put the specs up, but either way, they connect and play well. The downside for things like this is it has a proprietary charger. It has 2 magnetic chargers that connect right there, and then you have a regular USB-A. These just snap on each side. It's actually really easy. It's just another charger you have to carry, and they charge quick. I want to say an hour or two charges these to full, and they last, I want to say 5 to 7 hours, depending, 5 to 8 hours. I always get fatigued wearing the glasses before they run out of battery. So it's a nice thing. They're light. And another cool thing is they have the breakaway hinges, which a lot of companies still don't have. I don't understand how I purchased Ray-Bans that are hundreds of dollars and they still don't have breakaway hinges. I don't know if this is supposedly not a cool thing or not a trendy thing, but these hinges are great, especially if your head's wider than normal or if you're worried about stressing these. So it's really nice. And then when you want to shut them off, you don't have to do anything. You just put them in there.
I've also used these for gaming. They have extremely low latency for Bluetooth.
The last thing I'll mention is there are dots on the side here. And the dots are touch pads. And they have functions you can dedicate to them. You can touch it, you can hold it, and so you can double tap to pause it and play it, triple tap to go back. You can put Google Assistant on here. So there are different functions. It's kind of a given now at this point in time, but it's not too bad. They don't hurt around my ears. They fit pretty well. I think they would fit anyone with a moderately sized head. And if they have an extremely large head, the largest are really big. I was shocked that I got the ML size, M/L, and they were too big for me. That's never been the case. So they really do have good sizing. And this has a couple of microphones in it too. And then the speakers rest right here in the arm on each side. So it really kind of pushes it into your ear. Anyhow, the sound is great. They look fairly decent. They're functional because they have blue blocking lenses along with, I think those may be UV blocking lenses. So you get a lot. And then these just slide in here and you get this case. It's magnetized as well. I know this is a quick, rapid overview of this, but these are so good and I think they're a great gift. Let's check out the fourth item. Many of you will probably not have heard of this. If you have heard of this, you're sort of in the club, right? This is a Hydrate Spark. What it is a smart tumbler. They have bottles and cups. I'm sure there are lots of things you've seen on Amazon or eBay and they are smart. But every one I've ever tried in my life is super cheesy. It has a foreign app that barely makes sense and it's just a mess. This is, I believe, a US-based company. The app is flawless. They're trying to work on it. I've had this for a year and it has been amazing. I always get into that gimmick of water things. I used to have some of the water ones that tell you when to drink water. I try to be healthy when I can and it's really cool. But this one, I always give up on them. This one, it tells you when to drink, it gives you notifications, but the best part is it syncs with the app automatically, and the app has a widget. This is the 20-ounce model, and it's a good intermediate size. They have different colors. I ended up getting this and then buying several of these as gifts, and then to charge it, you pop out the hockey puck, I call it. This is where the lights come from as well, and you just charge it. The only problem with this one, again, is it has a proprietary charger, which is not bad. It's a little magnet. This takes a couple of hours to charge. It snaps on. Any USB-A will do, and it just stays solid green when it's full. So flashes while charging, and that's it. And then you pop it back in the bottom here till it finds its place, and then you just quarter turn, lock it in. What it does is it has a little weight sensor here, and the weight sensor allows it to sense the water. The only caveat of this, and the only one I mean, is you fill it with water, and then you have to put it down so it can get the measurement. It usually takes 3 seconds, but it says it can take up to 10. So if you're drinking water, you drink some, and then you go to refill it again, it won't get that reading. So when you drink water, you have to put it down. It will flash to let you know it has read it. Then you can fill it back up. And you want to put the lid on because when you calibrate this on the first go, it accounts for the lid. So it flashes when it reads it, and then you can go about your day. There are also notifications, but the coolest part about this is not just the tracking, but again, for me, the lights. They're super awesome. You can do different patterns. It does this spinning effect. You can do solid colors. You can go into the palette here. You can go in here, you can choose moonlight, test it, it's white. So you can choose whatever color you want. You can change it up, and you can choose the notification intervals. Another really awesome part of this is it has a social aspect. I need to get some friends, but when you get friends, you can give them the bottles and you can compete about who drinks the most water per day. I have one person on mine, and you can see that it's a graph that looks something like this and tells you how much water you've drank for the day and time. And then it gives you a lot of different options. There are competitions you can do, and they have positive goals. It's a bit like Samsung's Health, where they compete over steps every month. And there's even a step challenge in here. It's a little more convoluted than I know about, but it's impressive. And the fact that they keep updating and improving it is really nice. You can see that there are different goals here. I haven't used this bottle in a while, so it's hit or miss, but it's really nice. And the last thing I'll mention is that you can go to the app and supplement in. So technically people can cheat. If you if you got little siblings or something that you don't trust them to drink that much, they can technically put in the water amount in there and not have drank anything. So there is that aspect. But for people who like to track their fitness, this is great, because oftentimes you drink out of another cup, or you're on the go and you drink and you thought, oh, well, I didn't have my tumbler with me, but let me input it. So you at least get your daily value that you're assessed to reach. I think this is the only sort of hydration thing I have ever kept to in my entire life. And I've been using it all year long. Little hit or miss when I'm traveling and out and about for a while or a couple of days or weeks. But when I'm here, I use it all day long. So it's been really great. And the light is just awesome. So pick one of these up. Again, with all this stuff, I'll throw links in the description and a couple of comparable ones too, in case you're looking for something else. They have larger bottles and smaller cups, I think. This one does come with these really thick metal straws too. On to the fifth and final item. Let's check it out. I still have the box. This is my B&O Bang & Olufsen A1 Gen 2. That's important. This is the newest model. It's been out several years, but this is the absolute best sounding speaker you can get for the size. Hands down. I have not heard any better, and I'm sort of a connoisseur of speakers that are portable. It's amazing for its size. It is quite expensive. I will forewarn you now. It's a little heavy. It's more for not the absolute lightest trip. It's more of a carry-on sized. If you take a roll-on carry-on, or have more than a backpack, I should say. But even on a backpack, this can fit, and it has a little leather string. If you don't know about B&O, there are a couple of things that I'll mention. One is their whole mission is the aesthetics. They really care about the appeal of how it looks. The quality of the hardware inside is always top notch. That being said, the software is always questionable, especially for non-Apple users. If you're an Apple user, they tend to cater to that crowd, in my experience. So Apple stuff is flawless. And while Android stuff and Windows stuff, I should say, it works, usually without problem, it's delayed sometimes, or slower, or just not as intuitive. So keep that in mind with B&O. They sell upwards of $40,000 speakers. I think at some point they sell these goofy looking house speakers. They have some really nice stuff, but they have some really goofy stuff too. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So some people will think this stuff is absolutely gorgeous. The good thing is it's bound to sound good no matter what. Now, this I feel looks great. They have different colors as well. This, I think, is the Onyx. It's sort of a black gray, and it'll have different leather strings to accompany that. And then it has this metal piece on here. I believe the Gen 1s have a circle right here, and the Gen 1s had some battery issues because they had insanely powerful bass. So if you can source a Gen 1, you may have some obscure battery issues. They're probably cheaper, but the bass will be unreal. But they do have a lot of issues, and it may be touch and go with that. So you may want to just fall back to the Gen 2 because these are safe, they function very well, and they're super smooth. Now, this battery, I think, lasts 15 hours or so. I'll put the specs up here again. I could do a full review at some point, but I just want to mention this for a gift. This is the most expensive item I have here by far, but you can sometimes grab these on eBay for maybe $150. You probably want to get it sealed though. But these are aluminum. This whole thing is metal. It is not plastic. The bottom is sort of this rubber grip, and it's just really nice. It is Type-C, and it has push controls here. They are not touch. You push. It is fully waterproof. You can take this to the beach, and you can, I believe, even submerge this. I would not, but it is supposed to be sealed. It's definitely splash proof. So there's a power, Bluetooth connection, there's a microphone. This does contain Alexa, the functionality of it, but it works through your phone. It is not a direct smart speaker. It's a little unfortunate, but it's nice they have the feature. So if you're connected to your phone, which you would be, this has no aux port. And I don't think you can do a Type-C to 3.5 conversion either. Then you'll have the functionality as long as the app is on your phone. And it works fairly well. There's a plus and minus volume rocker here and a pause button. And if you double tap this, it can change the track to the next one as well. This does have, if I recall, a 3-inch driver for the bass and then a 1-inch tweeter. This is the big thing about B&O, is that a lot of these Bluetooth speakers will just contain one driver. It will do the bass and the treble. And that's where you kind of get this mush sound of a lot of stuff, or really not distinct and clear. This has really good bass for its size, really good. And then it's extremely clear. And the built-in EQs, the ones in the app, they actually shine. You can put it full excite to the right, and it will kind of give you this treble curve. It will give you a V curve, basically, treble and bass, and then kind of cut down the mids. And you can really hear a difference, whereas in other speakers, you cannot. Optimal setting for this in the EQ is still really good. I like the definition and clarity. I purchased 2 of these, and this is because this actually accomplishes true stereo sound as well. So you put one here and you put one here, actually put them on the other side of the room, and you get this really nice push-pull effect, and you can really immerse yourself like you're wearing headphones, and they're really clear, really powerful, and just amazing speakers. The codec for these does allow aptX, so you get kind of this higher quality sound that comes through. I use Spotify at 320 KB and kbps, and it's hard to tell the difference. If you're an audiophile, you want full resolution quality, and aptX won't provide that either, but it's really, really good. And I have a hard time hearing the difference, and I think 90% of people in the world cannot hear the difference. So it's better than most other ones. This one here and the other Bluetooth speakers you'll run into, they'll just use SBC codecs, which is just the really retro compressed codec for Bluetooth, and it's not great. AAC is probably a good intermediate. This allows AAC as well. This thing has been around the world with me in so many locations, so many places. It's been by waterfalls and in dirt, in beach, in hotels, and it looks nearly new minus a couple of scratches. And that's probably because I just have this thing sitting in bags and boxes, and I don't really take the best care of it anymore because it's older. I got this when it came out, but it holds up really well is my point. If you want to get a really good gift for someone who loves music and at least cares somewhat about sound, if there are people I know don't care about sound quality at all, music just all sounds good to them, and that's great. But if you want to give someone a gift where they care, this is a solid investment, and I think it's still going to be future-proofed for a long time. So pick one of these up, and if you want the true stereo sound, you can pick another one up. But again, that one's a bit pricey, and I don't know, I'm indifferent about recommending that, but I really do like the stereo sound. It beats out some sound bars I've had, and you could have a small party with these things, and it's quite loud. And pairing them up does raise it by about 3 decibels on average for the loudness. They do not distort when they're raised to their full volume, and the bass still shines through at full volume. It scales well. It's just nice all around. And that's what you pay for in this. For the bonus item, when I saw this, I had to get it. This is a tiny charging brick. And don't worry, there is a more neutral version for the guys out there who want something less feminine, but it's really cool. I like this. You plug your Type-C cable into the top. No, it doesn't come with one. And you get a 30-watt power brick that has feet that are removable for the plug, and the eyes light up to tell you different functions. Look at this thing. And it's so small. If you know the original iPhone charger, the little 1x1 square, 1 inch by 1 inch square, that's pretty much the size of this with a little extension where the purple part lies. It's got a bow and headphones and feet. So cool. And the box itself is really well done. This is a great gift. I think these go on sale for $20. Really not bad at all. Ideally, this was for a Switch. She has a Switch, and Switch charges at 30 watts, I believe. Wow, that's cool. It's got little eyes, little nose, and I think it changes based on the charging capability. Now, there is a black version. It's black and gray. It looks more professional, more neutral. Certain people may prefer that. It doesn't matter what your gender is. This one is super cute for kids, for girls, for people who like color. It's got a bow, but other than that, it's a nice color contrast as well. The black one is cool. The black one has a counterpart that looks just like this. It's also 30 watts, and then it has a larger one, which is 65 watts. You could use that for the Legion Go. You could use that for the Steam Deck, the Rogue Ally, for other things, Surface Pros. So you can pick that one up too, and it looks cool.
Other than the prongs not folding down, I would consider this pretty portable due to its size. And the feet are magnetic. How awesome is that?
Yeah, this does snap in, so these aren't going anywhere. And even with that cable on, it sits. That is really cool. It's averaging about 15 watts, but I know it does go to 30. It could be a limitation of the Switch because the Switch is nearly full. If you are looking to purchase a cable for this, make sure it can support 30 watts. You may want to go for one of the 45 watt cell phone charger cables. Some of the cables top out at 25 watts for cell phone chargers. So if you're wondering why it's not going the full amount, there you go. So just be cautious on which cable you pick up. I'll put a link to a decent one. I wouldn't mind having one of those if it didn't have a bow, but I'll probably pick up the black one at some point. Just looks nice. Hope some of that was interesting for you. Maybe you got a couple of ideas to share with someone, give some gifts to some people you love in your life, and have an awesome holiday season, or just in general, maybe it's their birthday, who knows. So I hope that helped you out. If you have any questions, drop a comment. I will do my best to answer them. I know this wasn't elaborate on everything, but I'm trying to conserve time and overview everything. So subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video. Have an awesome week. Take care.